starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. The state's business community is looking to the legislature to help strengthen the workforce, and that discussion includes more areas of education than you may realize. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
If you want to talk about how to grow and improve outcomes in the state, you can't ignore the future workforce.
As business leaders and as elected leaders, that's what we need to be thinking about, is what's going to happen 10, 15, 20 years from now.
And the Mississippi Economic Council is drawing attention to the idea that there are ways to reinforce the current and future workforce at the same time.
Cost businesses and really the economy about $3 billion a year because parents can't find quality child care. So if we can find ways to make that part of the equation in what we're doing, it's not only going to give a stronger foundation for those kids as they go forward, it's going to also provide the opportunity to keep our citizens in the workforce today.
Meanwhile, the state superintendent is releasing her annual report, and it shows how lawmakers have bumped up the funding for early childhood learning collaboratives in the last 5 years. And it's paying off, with students achieving at a higher level. But some reforms that were passed are just starting to show progress.
People started asking questions, what are you doing with the money? Why aren't we seeing results of improved student achievement? We started focusing on the outputs instead of the inputs.
Superintendent's report shows improved graduation rates, an increase in math and English scores, several districts improving their letter grades, and improved reading scores since the third grade reading gate was passed. Now the Economic Council wants to ensure those students have the chance to identify the skills that will help them be the most successful when they graduate and identify possible careers. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
President Donald Trump went to Texas today to visit a border station to push the case for his border wall. The visit comes the day before hundreds of thousands of federal workers missed their first paychecks in the 20-day-old shutdown, which is about to become the longest on record. Natalie Brand has the very latest from the White House.
President Trump brought his battle over the wall to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas on Thursday.
A lot of the crime in our country is caused by what's coming through here.
The president said miles of open border allow drug and human traffickers to come and go as they please.
The problem is they go to the barrier, that's it, but now they go around the barriers. So when you fill up the gaps, it's going to be a much different day.
With the standoff between the president and Democratic leaders only intensifying, the question now, will the president declare a national emergency to try and sidestep Congress and fund a wall?
Are you closer to declaring an emergency?
We are. I would like to look at broader. I think we can do this quickly because this is common sense. And it's not expensive.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham released a statement saying it's now time for the president to use emergency powers. This after Senator Graham's efforts to forge a deal seemed to fall apart on Thursday.
I just don't see a pathway forward.
Why are you rejecting it at the expense of the health, safety, and well-being of the American people?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi criticized Republicans for rejecting Democratic funding bills that would reopen government agencies currently closed.
To take an oath to the Constitution or an oath to Donald Trump.
On Friday, 800,000 federal workers face missing their first paycheck.
The Senate voted tonight to provide back pay for impacted workers when the shutdown does end. The House is expected to vote on that tomorrow. Switching gears now, time to get a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley. Jacob, much cooler out there now.
Yes, Scott, it's much cooler and it's going to stay cold out there right now. Things are clear. We're currently sitting here in the lower to middle 30s across the area. Those temperatures are only going to drop as we go throughout the rest of the night tonight. We have these winds out of the northeast. That's really going to help us to cool down into the upper 20s a little later tonight. Forecasting an overnight low of 28 degrees here in Columbus, keeping those winds out of the northeast at around 3 to 6 miles an hour. It's going to be cold out there. The next couple of days are looking cold and wet. We do have rain moving in this weekend coming up a little later in the show. I'll let you know just how much we can see.
Well, frightening images after two school buses in two different counties catch fire this morning. Flames engulfed a Noxubee County school bus while on the way to pick up students. Take a look at this. Another bus in Lafayette County also caught fire. The good news, both bus drivers and students did make it out safely. Noxubee County School District Superintendent Rod Brodnack says that the district's bus safety training paid off.
It was a student
that notified the bus driver that it was on fire. So the quick thinking of one of our students that was getting ready to be picked up is how she really knew that the bus was on fire. She saw a little smoke, but she didn't think it was on fire.
The district's transportation director says that they're looking into what caused the bus fire. He says that bus was one of the school's older buses. Well, those in Monroe County can rest easy tonight after an alleged stabbing suspect is behind bars. 43-year-old Jason Chance was arrested yesterday. Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says that Chance is the man accused of stabbing Dusty Fretwell in the neck. This incident all took place last Friday. Paramedics were called to the Calcalola Chevron gas station in Caledonia, where they found the victim. The stabbing originally happened on Wolf Road in Monroe County. Sheriff Cantrell says someone tried to drive the victim to the hospital in Columbus. As they were on the way, the driver then pulled over at that gas station and called 911. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Chance faces 1 count of aggravated assault. Well, West Point is looking forward to its newest addition, Pico Foods. Nearly after a year after announcing plans for a new plant, the pieces are all starting to go in place. Our Riley Livingston talks to the plant manager to find out how progress is coming.
When Bryan Foods left West Point, the hole it left behind needed to be filled. Today, Pico Foods has taken up that mantle and is one step closer to being in business.
The freezer is coming along quite nicely. We ran into a little bit of an unexpected delay with having to replace some equipment that we found faulty during when we were pressurizing the system, but we should have that up and going and online late March, early April.
Pico Foods is planning on bringing 300 jobs to West Point, and the hiring process has already begun.
Finding the right people for the jobs is very easy for us in this location. Back at the career fair, we were able to get well over 300 resumes. Right now, as it stands, we're currently fully staffed in maintenance and in our refrigeration. Probably in the next 2-4 weeks, we'll be looking to hire our rest of our warehouse personnel and some of our clerical roles.
With those added jobs, the city of West Point is hoping to cash in.
It always helps the economy when a town grows with industry, with of course that employment base and the jobs that it creates and brings to town, but also the quality of life and the money that's generated and the flow of cash that people have.
It won't be long before Pico Foods trucks hit the streets.
We'll probably start seeing some trucks coming out of the plant probably mid-April, late April. We got a couple weeks of getting everything. Once we start up the freezer and bring it down to temperature, we got to do some pre-startup checklist and make sure everything's solid. And after we verify that, we'll start shipping some product in and out.
Well, when it comes to sweet potatoes, it's the crop that the Magnolia State that is has become well known for producing. Now, state leaders are looking for ways to continue growing the market. During tonight's Mississippi Sweet Potato Council, Agriculture Commissioner Andy Gibson spoke about the importance of the crop and the impact it has on the state. Last year, sweet potatoes had a value of nearly $118 million in Mississippi. The crop also ranks as one of the top 10 valued commodities in the state. Gibson says sweet potatoes are a critical part of our agriculture economy. He believes exporting the crop is one way to continue growing the market.
The work that goes into this is hard work. It's not easy, but employs a lot of people and a lot of dollars that turn over in the local economy and our state economy. And of course, we ship sweet potatoes all over the country and all over the world. So we want to continue to do that and grow the exports, grow the markets, and support our farmers.
Last year, the state harvested 29,000 acres of sweet potatoes. Next week, Gibson says he will meet with the Consul General of India and discuss the possibility of trade involving sweet potatoes. In other good news, a fundraiser that helps thousands of children is less than a month away, and organizers were able to give us a sneak peek of some of the big food for the big event. Well, the 56th Annual Junior Auxiliary of Tupelo Charity Ball promises a night of glitz, glamour, and feathers. The theme for the event is the Gatsby Gala. Junior Auxiliary members had a preview of some of the decorations. It was also an opportunity to preview the programs made possible by the annual Charity Ball.
The money that's raised throughout the season for this actually goes to fund everything that we do, all of our service projects. So if you buy a ticket to this or you're a sponsor, you're actually helping to feed a child that needs it, clothe a child who's in need, tutor. We do all kinds of service projects to benefit the children of Tupelo and Lee County, and this is the way that we fund it.
For more information, just go to our website, WCBI.com.
Well, some clouds are moving back into our area for Friday. It's going to start off cold there in the upper 20s. By 3, we do see those lower 50s. Rain is moving in. I'll let you know when it arrives coming up after the break.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, it was a beautiful day across the region. It was cold, but we did have a gorgeous sunset out there. A special thanks to Tanya Lancaster for sending in this beautiful picture of the sunset in Clay County this evening. Had a lot of orange and purples out there, and that's due to our increased moisture from the south and west. This is going to continue to increase as we go throughout the next couple of days, especially as we get into tomorrow afternoon. That's where we're going to see some more showers begin to develop across our area. Out there right now, though, it's pretty cold, and luckily it is clear. We do have a few high clouds, but we're sitting at 36 Columbus, 36 West Point, 34 degrees there in Starkville, so a chilly night is in store for much of us. We have no rain to worry about as of now. A few snow showers here in the northeast, have those rain showers across Oklahoma and Arkansas. That's what's going to begin to move our way for Friday and Friday night as well. And kind of timing that out for you here, Friday around 4 p.m. we could have a few showers move through the northern portion of our area. As we go into Friday night and the early morning hours of Saturday, though, that's whenever we're going to see that heavier rain move in. A warm front will begin to progress north through the state. As it does so, a cold front will come up behind it, and kind of where those two fronts meet, we will see a lot of moisture. That's going to produce some rainfall, some heavy rainfall as we go throughout the day on Saturday. By Saturday evening, most of that rain does push out. We could have a few showers linger on into late Saturday night and the early morning hours on Sunday, but most of that rain is going to fall there on Saturday throughout the early morning and late evening hours. Most of us could pick up around a half an inch to maybe even 3/4 of an inch before all is said and done with there on Sunday. So some more heavy rainfall is headed our way. We could do without it, but we're just going to have to deal with it for the time being. But for your Friday, we'll top out at 50 West Point, 50 in Louisville, 53 degrees in Philadelphia. We're going to keep those rain chances at about 20%, mainly for the evening hours. We'll top out at 52 in Aliceville, 50 degrees there in Vernon. Those winds are going to be shifting to the southeast, bringing in some more moisture throughout the day. We'll top out at 50 here in Fulton, 50 Tupelo as well, 48 degrees there in Pontotoc, a little bit chillier. So tomorrow is going to be cold, mostly cloudy, but Sunday, our highs are actually going to occur at midnight. As we go throughout the day here on Sunday, those temperatures are only going to drop throughout the day. So Sunday is going to be bitter cold. That rain is going to be gone, thankfully, but still it will be chilly all throughout the day with winds shifting back out of the northwest. And as we go into next week, we're going to remain mostly dry. Those winds still are going to be coming out of the north, though, keeping us cool. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we start off next week dry, but we have to deal with the rain this weekend.
WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. There are 4 basic rules to gun safety to ensure that your hunting trip doesn't end with an injury. We dive into those safety tips tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Maggie Alexander, a trauma nurse at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I want to talk to you about how to best avoid a hunting-related accident. There are 4 basic rules of gun safety. First, treat every firearm like it's loaded. Second, control the muzzle. Keep the gun pointed in a safe direction at all times. Third, keep your finger off the trigger until you've identified your target and you're ready to shoot. And fourth, be sure of your target and what's behind it. Never point your firearm at anything you don't intend to shoot. Beyond these basic rules of gun safety, hunters should also take care when loading and unloading guns from vehicles, as well as when climbing into and out of tree stands. If you're using a tree stand, ensure that all hunting equipment is lifted and lowered with a haul line and never carried to and from the stand. Anytime you go hunting, make sure someone at home knows your hunting plan. including your location, what time you're expected to return, and other members of your hunting party. Be aware of the weather conditions and plan accordingly with proper equipment and clothing. Drink plenty of water, even on cool days, and be able to recognize signs of hypothermia. Have a cell phone or radio that you can use to call for help if you need it, and pack an emergency kit with you when you go hunting. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, even more so on the basketball floor. Down to the wire highlights from Starkville coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
Mississippi State women's basketball lives for the magic inside the hump. The Bulldogs didn't lose a home game all last season, riding a 28-game home win streak. They need that magic tonight. Georgia in the house for a dogs versus dogs matchup against number 7 Mississippi State. Chloe Bibby getting things going for Mississippi State early. She said that earlier this week that she was really looking forward to correcting the struggles she's had with her jumper. She would correct them tonight. Corner 3 gives the Dogs an early lead, but Georgia responds with Kalia Robinson with the lay-in for 2. Bulldogs still up, though. Jordan Danbury feeding inside to Ariel Howard. That's a nice dish inside for the 2. Chloe Bibby was almost the entire offense in the first half for Mississippi State. Yet another J from the Australian jumper. That's the way you make it work. And then the other Dogs would answer. Kay Morrison in the corner. Ball fake, dribble, take the drive, pull up, short corner jumper. Georgia keeping it close, but here comes the defense. Bibby making things work. Ariel Howard out in transition. She's going to find Jordan Danbury. Danbury's going to clear the lane. She's going to take it all for herself. Contact and the bucket. No call, but she'll take it anyway. Then Bibby keeping things rolling. Feeding Big T inside. That's a nice dish to the All-American for 2. More from downtown. Chloe Bibby from the top of the key. Nylon for the triple. 17 first half points for Bibby. Still a close game though. Ariel Howard bullying her. That beautiful pass from Andra Espinoza-Hunter to Bibby. That's a beautiful transition basketball there. Bibby had tied a career-high 24 points on the night. There's Howard bullying her way inside for 2. Bulldogs up at halftime. But they would trail in the 4th, down by 1 after a crazy Georgia comeback in the 3rd. But then one of those patented Bulldog runs happened. Howard for 2. Georgia couldn't stop the dribble handoff. Howard again. Spin move. Gets right through the defenders. And 1 bucket. Bulldogs up by 3. And make it 4 with a free throw. Then Jordan Danbury inside. Misses the layup, but Big T, Tiara McCowan inside, asserting her will for the offensive rebound and the bucket. Bulldogs with 22 offensive rebounds in this one. And then Jazz Holmes just showing off with the floater. Bulldogs 9-0 run to seal this one. Mississippi State wins 80-71. Bulldogs now 15-1. We'll have more from head coach Vic Schaefer coming up on Sunrise tomorrow morning. Ole Miss looking for its first SEC basketball win, unsuccessful tonight at home against LSU. 55-41 the Tigers win. Chandrika Sessom with the double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds in the loss. To some rivalry JUCO hoops. Northeast ICC ladies first. Shania Buford finds Zariah Jenkins on the break for 2. The Lady Indians up by 11. Here comes Sherelle Jones of Northeast. Answers with a bucket of her own. It's a 3-point ball game. Fourth quarter, Deja Rogan drives in the paint, bank off the glass. We have a tie ball game in the fourth. The Lady Tigers getting it back. Dominique Caldwell steals the inbounds, and she's going to drop the floater. So Northeast takes the lead. But ICC would finish strong. Shania Buford from the land of plenty. Hey, if you're not going to get a hand in her face, she's going to drain that every time. And then be Buford one more time on the fast break. ICC gets the rivalry win, 66-61. Let's run it back with the boys. ICC Northeast, another great basketball game in store. First half, Indians' Anthony Diggins drives to the bucket. Indians deficit now just 2. More from the home team. Cartisco Brown, soft touch jumper. That gets a go from the short corner. Northeast still up though. Tigers extend their lead with a DeAnthony Tipler triple. That's from the land of plenty. My goodness, from the parking lot. It's a big win, nice one there. And then Northeast would answer. Felix Hayes in transition. It's a beautiful finish. Northeast gets the win 70-56. Hey, some quick highlights. Not going to be able to get to all these, but we'll have them on our website, WCBI.com. Winston Academy taking on Heritage Academy. Good Academy hoops, but the Patriots get the win 67-43. Also on the ladies' side, Winston Academy girls cruise to a 53-28 win. Again, we'll have all those highlights coming up on our website. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Thank. 7-day forecast starts off wet this weekend. We will see heavy rain there throughout the day on Saturday. However, as we go into next week, things will dry out.
All right, thanks, Chicken. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.